The oceanic crust mainly consists of silica and magnesium. The oceanic crust is called Seema, silica and magnesium. Which state in India is the largest producer of gold? Karnataka. Karnataka is the leading producer, mainly from the Kolar and Hatti mines. What is the common name of sodium hydrogen carbonate? Baking soda. Sodium hydrogen carbonate, NiHCO3, is commonly known as baking soda. Which committee recommended the implementation of GST in India? Vijay Kelkar Committee. The Kelkar Task Force on Indirect Taxes first suggested a comprehensive GST. The Lotus Temple in Delhi is a house of worship for which faith? Baha'i faith. The Lotus Temple is notable for its flower lake shape and is open to all regardless of religion. Who wrote the famous epic Kamayani in Hindi? Jaishankar Prasad. Kamayani is considered one of the greatest literary works in modern Hindi poetry. The Sangai festival is the largest cultural festival of which state? Manipur. The Sangai festival is an annual cultural festival organized by the Manipur Tourism Department. Which major port was renamed as Deen Dayal Port? Kandla Port. Kandla Port in Gujarat was renamed Deen Dayal Port in 2017. Who is the founder of the Facebook, now Meta, social network? Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook in 2004 while a student at Harvard. A projection that preserves correct shapes is called conformal. Conformal or orthomorphic projections maintain local shapes and angles. What is a grid in geography? A network of intersecting latitudes and longitudes. Grids help in locating precise points on a map. The concept of single citizenship in the Indian Constitution is borrowed from which country? United Kingdom. Despite being a federal structure like the USA, which has dual citizenship, India adopted single citizenship from the British pattern to promote national integration. If it is 12 o'clock noon at Greenwich, 0 degrees, what will be the time at 15 degrees east? 1 p.m. eastward time increases for every 1 degree is equal to 4 minutes, 15 times 4 equals 60 minutes, 1 hour ahead. What is the primary objective of monetary policy in India? Price stability with growth. The primary goal of monetary policy is to maintain price stability while keeping in mind the objective of growth. The process of breakdown of food in the cell with the release of energy. Cellular respiration. Cellular respiration occurs in the mitochondria. What are the three dimensions of HDI? Income, health, education. HDI is a composite index of life expectancy, education, and per capita income. Which committee was formed to estimate poverty in India using a nutritional requirement approach? Alag Committee. The Y.K. Alag Committee, 1979, defined the poverty line based on daily calorie intake. The heading of a map indicates the title and subject of the map. The heading tells the user what the map is about. Which scheme aims to provide low-cost medicines to all through special outlets? PM Bharatiya Janaushadhi Pariyojana. PMBJP makes quality generic medicines available at affordable prices for all through Kandra outlets. Which program focuses on skill development of Indian youth? PM Kaushal Vikas Yojana. PMKVY is the flagship scheme of the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, MSD. Cadastral maps are used primarily for showing ownership of landed property. Cadastral maps are large-scale maps showing boundaries of individual properties. The transition from gathering to farming allowed humans to lead a settled life. Agriculture required people to stay in one place to tend to crops, leading to the first permanent villages and cities. Which personality is known as the Missile Man of India? APJ Abdul Kalam. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was an aerospace scientist who served as the 11th President of India. Which organization manages air traffic services and aeronautical communication services in India? AAI, Airports Authority of India. AAI is responsible for creating, maintaining, and managing civil aviation infrastructure and air traffic services. Aung San Suu Kyi's book on freedom is titled Freedom from Fear. Freedom from Fear highlights the struggle for democracy and human rights in Myanmar. Which state is home to the Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary, which has the highest density of one-horned rhinos? Assam. Pobitora in Assam has the highest density of Indian rhinos in the world. Which city is known as the Pink City of India? Jaipur. Jaipur is called the Pink City because of the dominant color scheme of its buildings. The Sundarbans mangroves are famous for being the habitat of Royal Bengal tigers. The Sundarbans is a unique mangrove ecosystem that hosts a significant population of Royal Bengal tigers. Who wrote the famous Urdu poem Sare Jahan Se Achha? Muhammad Iqbal. Muhammad Iqbal composed the poem Taranai-Hindi in 1904. Which article of the Constitution gives the Parliament the power to regulate the right of citizenship by law? Article 11. Article 11 empowers the Parliament to make any provision with respect to the acquisition and termination of citizenship. The Qutub Minar was started by Qutubuddin Aibak but completed by Iltutmish. Iltutmish added the 3 upper stories to the structure started by Aibak. The Ganga Sagar Mela is held in which state? West Bengal. The Ganga Sagar Mela is a religious festival and massive pilgrimage held at Sagar Island in West Bengal. The Basoli style of painting is the earliest school of Pahadi paintings. Basoli painting is a reputed school of Pahadi miniature painting known for its bold colors. Who is the author of the autobiography, My Experiments with Truth? Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi wrote his autobiography detailing his life from early childhood through to 1921. Who said, "Eternal vigilance is the price of liberty"? John Philpott Curran. This famous quote emphasizes that citizens must always guard their freedoms against encroachment. GPS stands for Global Positioning System. GPS provides precise location and time information. Which index is used to measure retail inflation in India? CPI. The Consumer Price Index, CPI, is used by the RBI as the primary measure of inflation. The Atal Pension Yojana APY is primarily targeted at workers in which sector? Unorganized sector. APY focuses on the unorganized sector to provide a definite pension after the age of 60. Which plan focused on faster, more inclusive and sustainable growth? 12th Plan. The 12th Five-Year Plan, 2012-17, was the last plan and focused on sustainable and inclusive growth. The teak tree is most commonly found in which Indian state? Madhya Pradesh. Central India, particularly Madhya Pradesh, is famous for its high-quality teak forests. The process of loss of water in the form of vapor from leaves is transpiration. Transpiration creates a suction pull that helps in the ascent of sap. What is the color of methyl orange in an acidic solution? Red. Methyl orange turns red in acidic solutions and yellow in basic solutions. Natural liberty is the freedom man enjoys. In the state of nature. Natural liberty refers to the unrestricted freedom individuals supposedly had before the formation of organized society. The sediment deposited by a glacier is called glacial moraine. Moraines are piles of rocks and debris left behind by melting glaciers. The Poshan Abhiyan National Nutrition Mission targets which group? Children, pregnant women, and lactating mothers. Poshan Abhiyan aims to reduce stunting, undernutrition, anemia, and low birth weight in children and women. The Kumbh Mela is not held in which of the following cities? Varanasi. The Kumbh Mela is held at Haridwar, Prayagraj, Ujjain and Nasik. Who is the author of the famous Sanskrit play Abhigyanashakuntalam? Kalidasa. Kalidasa is widely regarded as the greatest poet and dramatist in the Sanskrit language. The Border Roads Organization, BRO, falls under the administrative control of which ministry? Ministry of Defense. The BRO develops and maintains road networks in India border areas and is part of the Ministry of Defense. Sun-synchronous satellites are generally used for Earth observation resources. They pass over the same area at the same local solar time, providing consistent lighting. The concept of economic planning in India is derived from which country? USSR. India adopted the concept of centralized economic planning from the Soviet Union, USSR. Which of the following is a wind instrument? Flute. The flute, bansuri, is a woodwind instrument commonly used in Indian classical music. The Tropic of Cancer is located at 23.5 degrees north. The Tropic of Cancer marks the northernmost point where the sun can be directly overhead. In which city is the Hazara Rama Temple located? Hampi. The Hazara Rama Temple is a 15th century temple located within the royal enclosure of Hampi. The Imperial Bank of India was renamed as what in 1955? State Bank of India. The Imperial Bank of India was nationalized and became the State Bank of India, SBI, in 1955. Yeast is used in the wine and beer industry because it produces alcohol and co. Anaerobic respiration in yeast yields ethanol, alcohol. In which state is the festival of Bihu celebrated? Assam. Bihu is a set of 3 important non-religious festivals in the state of Assam. Data that consists of words, descriptions, or narratives is called qualitative data. Qualitative data focuses on the quality and depth of experience rather than numbers. The Gulf Stream is a warm current. Warm currents originate near the equator and move towards the poles. Who is known as the father of the nation in South Africa? Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was a revolutionary leader who ended apartheid and became South Africa's first black president. Which port in India is a natural harbour located on the west coast? Mumbai Port. Mumbai Port is a natural deep-water harbour and one of the oldest modern ports in India. The ratio between the distance on a map and the actual distance on the ground is scale. This is the fundamental definition of map scale. Golden fibre refers to which crop? Jute. Jute is known as the golden fibre due to its colour and high cost-effectiveness. The Blue Revolution in India is related to fisheries. Blue Revolution refers to the significant growth in the fish and marine product sector. Which of the following describes a spur? A piece of high land sticking out into lower land. Spurs are represented by V-shaped contours pointing towards lower ground. Who built the Buland Darwaza at Fatehpur Sikri? Akbar. Akbar built the Buland Darwaza to commemorate his victory over Gujarat. The process of transferring the spherical earth onto a flat surface is called projection. Map projection is a mathematical transformation of the 3D globe to a 2D map. Which is the national animal of India? Tiger. The Royal Bengal tiger, Panthera tigris, was conferred the status of national animal in 1973. Mesopotamian tablets were typically made of which material? Clay. Scribes wrote on wet clay tablets, which were then dried in the sun or baked to make them permanent. Who wrote the famous song Sare Jahan Se Achha? Muhammad Iqbal. Muhammad Iqbal wrote Taranai Hindi, which became a popular patriotic song. The Epic of Gilgamesh was written on how many tablets? 12. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest literary works, was recorded on 12 clay tablets. The thin layer of air that surrounds the earth is the atmosphere. The atmosphere is held to the earth by its gravitational force. Plants breathe through all of the above. While stomata on leaves are primary, roots and stems also exchange gases. In which layer does the temperature rise very rapidly with increasing height? Thermosphere. In the thermosphere, ionization causes a sharp increase in temperature. The Shore Temple, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is located in Mahabalipuram. Located in Tamil Nadu, it was built during the reign of the Pallav dynasty. Which is the largest public sector bank in India? State Bank of India. The State Bank of India, SBI, is the largest commercial bank in India by assets and reach. The Ellora caves contain monuments dedicated to which religions? Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism. Ellora features 34 monasteries and temples representing Hindu, Buddhist and Jain faiths. The word psychology is derived from two Greek words psyche and logos. What does psyche mean? Soul. Psyche means soul or spirit, and logos means study or knowledge. Which indicator gives a pink color in a basic solution? Phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein remains colorless in acidic solutions but turns pink in basic solutions. What is the term for the loss of memories that occurred before a brain injury? Retrograde amnesia. Retrograde amnesia is the loss of memory for events that happened prior to the onset of the amnesia. Which projection is used for maps of the polar regions? Zenithal azimuthal. Zenithal projections are centered on a pole and show the region accurately. Which state in India is the largest producer of rice? West Bengal. West Bengal is consistently the leading producer of rice in India. Who is the author of the famous book Train to Pakistan? Khushwant Singh. Khushwant Singh's novel depicts the human tragedy of the partition of India in 1947. The Special Economic Zones (SEZ) Act was passed in India in 2005. The SEZ Act was passed in 2005 to boost exports and attract foreign investment. The rhythmic contraction and expansion of the heart is called heartbeat. A heartbeat consists of the contraction, systole, and relaxation, diastole, of heart muscles. The Ghumar dance is a traditional folk dance of which state? Rajasthan. Ghumar was developed by the Bhil tribe and later adopted by other Rajasthani communities. The layer that helps in radio transmission is thermosphere. Ionosphere, part of the thermosphere, reflects radio waves back to Earth. Areas where a warm and a cold current meet provide the best fishing grounds. The meeting of these currents creates nutrient-rich waters for fish. Which Indian athlete is famously known as the flying fish? Michael Phelps. While Michael Phelps is the global flying fish, in an Indian context, this question usually refers to international swimming icons or is a distractor for Milkha Singh, the flying Sikh. Under which tax category does stamp duty fall? State tax. Stamp duties are levied and collected by state governments. Censorship is a constraint on freedom of speech. Censorship involves the suppression of speech, public communication, or other information. Which animal is known as the heritage animal of India? Elephant. The Indian elephant was declared the national heritage animal in 2010 to strengthen its conservation. The Stand Up India scheme facilitates bank loans to women and SC cent entrepreneurs. The scheme facilitates bank loans between 10 lakhs and 1 crore to at least 1 SC cent borrower and 1 woman borrower per branch. Environmentalists argue that future generations should have the freedom to a clean environment. This expands the concept of freedom to include intergenerational justice. What is the scientific name of the mango, the national fruit of India? Mangifera indica. Mangifera indica is the scientific name for the mango tree. Which philosopher argued that law is the condition of liberty? John Locke. Locke argued that where there is no law, there is no freedom. Which scheme was launched to bring the unbanked sections of society into the formal banking system? PM Jan Dhan Yojana. PMJDY is a national mission for financial inclusion to ensure access to financial services like banking and pensions. The Pattachitra art form is a traditional cloth-based scroll painting from both A and B. Pattachitra is a traditional art form of both Odisha and West Bengal. The Baburnama was written in which language? Chagatai Turkic. The memoirs of Babur, the founder of the Mughal Empire, were written in his mother tongue, Chagatai. Which program was launched to rejuvenate 75 water bodies in every district? Amrit Sarovar. Mission Amrit Sarovar was launched in April 2022 to develop and rejuvenate 75 water bodies in each district of the country. Censorship of films in India is carried out by the CBFC, Censor Board. The Central Board of Film Certification reviews films to ensure they meet certain public guidelines.